I found an old diary about the Samurai Hiroshi and his life. I found the diary in the corner of an old bookstore, hidden between forgotten tomes. Its leather cover was worn, and the paper inside was yellowed with age. As I flipped through the pages, the words gripped me. It was the story of a man named Hiroshi, a student like me, who had become a samurai. Hiroshi's story began with a chance encounter. He had always admired the samurai, but he was born into a family of farmers. His dreams seemed impossible. But one day, while practicing with a wooden stick, he caught the attention of a traveling swordsman. The master saw potential in him and offered to teach him the way of the sword. The first lesson was simple but vital: the katana. Hiroshi wrote that the sword felt heavy, unfamiliar. His master's voice echoed in his mind. A samurai's sword is his soul. It must feel like an extension of your body. Every day, Hiroshi trained his grip, learning the proper stance, how to hold the sword with strength and balance. The basics were grueling. For weeks, he didn't move beyond footwork, learning how to step, shift, and pivot with precision. The real sword training came next. Hiroshi practiced with his master slowly at first, blocking and striking in slow, deliberate movements. Each day, his master increased the speed, forcing Hiroshi to react faster, without thinking. "A samurai does not hesitate," the master would say. "You must strike before the enemy moves." Months passed. Hiroshi's body grew stronger, his reflexes sharper. He described the endless sparring, the bruises, the exhaustion, but also the sense of control, the rhythm of combat that began to flow naturally. But the sword wasn't all. Hiroshi wrote about his master teaching him the Bushido code, the way of the samurai: honor, loyalty, courage. These were the virtues Hiroshi was taught to live by, day in and day out. His master emphasized that a samurai's duty was to his lord, to his people, and to his own spirit. The sword was a tool, but honor was the true strength of a samurai. Hiroshi spent hours meditating on these values, practicing humility and patience, learning that true power came not from violence, but from restraint. One day, his master gave him a task. He had to settle a dispute between two warring clans. It was not a test of swordsmanship, but of wisdom. Hiroshi had to navigate the politics, the emotions, and the honor of both sides without drawing his blade. His master had prepared him well. "The sword is not always the answer," the master wrote. "A samurai's greatest weapon is his mind." Hiroshi succeeded. The dispute was resolved peacefully, and he was recognized as a true samurai. He wrote of the moment he stood before his master, the katana in his hands, knowing that his training had not only forged his body, but his spirit. I closed the diary, and for the first time, I understood. To be a samurai wasn't about titles or wealth. It was about discipline, honor, and living by a code that shaped every action. Hiroshi's journey wasn't just history. It was a path that called to me. The way of the sword, the way of a samurai, was a life I could follow, if only I had the strength to walk it.